everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Can we stand? Can we pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I will take roll call. Chuck Freiderman.
Here's the thing.
Gabby LaFontaine here. Cindy Brunia, an excused absence. Chris Brickle here. And Vern Schulman.
Here.
And then under number 4, we have the presentation of agenda. And the first item we're going to put on the agenda is I'm going to need a motion and a support to approve Vern to be the moderator of the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
And I'll support. Okay, and then I'm going to turn everything over to Vern. Presentation of agenda. Oh. Do we got to do the roll call? Yeah. Okay. Chuck Freiderman.
Here.
Chris Brickle. Yes. Kathy LaFontaine. Yes. Vern Coleman.
Here. Yes.
Okay, we got it.
Okay. Moving on, presentation of the agenda. Anybody want to add anything or take anything off? The one item we are taking off is under 16, the park discussion. That will be taken off the agenda. Any other changes? So the agenda will stand as amended then. Moving on to public comment. Does anybody want to make public comments at this time?
Good evening. My name is Brian Wamsley. I'm the school superintendent for Richmond Community Schools. And this evening I'd like to share with you and the listening audience here information about that will be on the November 4th ballot, a school bond proposal. Richmond Community Schools prides itself in transparency and making sure we get every effort out there to give the information to voters and our public about an upcoming bond election. And so our 4 townships and cities that represent and encompass Richmond Community Schools, we're on that mission to make sure we get that information out there. Tonight I'm here for Richmond Township. The bond proposal that's scheduled to go on the November 4th ballot seeks a no net increase in our current debt millage for the school district, which means if approved, the bond would not raise the school debt tax rate, which the taxpayers are currently paying. If approved, the bond would generate about $51.8 million in funding, allowing the district to move forward with additions to all 3 of our buildings and some improvements within the buildings. This will directly affect the current and projected student growth that we are anticipating. Improvements include classroom additions and parking lot expansions at all 3 buildings, a new multi-purpose gym at the middle school, expanding the cafeteria at the middle school, updating locker rooms and a clinic at the high school, and expanding the kitchen and a partial roof replacement at the elementary school. Over the past 10 years, Richmond has been fortunate as one of very few school districts in the state of Michigan to see a steady enrollment increase. And all enrollment projections show that we are projected to have a 16% increase in the next decade, which equates to about 300 more students in the district. The bond proposal is designed to address student growth in what we currently have while maintaining fiscal responsibility. If approved, the bond would be issued in 2 series. Series 1 in 2026, which would be the construction of the middle school and the elementary parking lot. And the second series is Series 2028 for the construction of the high school addition and the elementary addition. The proposal has already been approved by the Michigan Department of Treasury and the Richmond Board of Education and is scheduled to be on the November 4th ballot. I encourage you and all the residents to go to visit our website. At the top, there's a link called Click on Information on the Proposed Millage. It has all the documents, the proposed enrollment projections, the bond details, the budget, everything that's been approved to this point. Most importantly, I want to remind everyone this is a no increase over what we're currently paying. So I want to thank you for your time tonight, and just to remind everybody to vote on November 4th. Thank you. And congratulations again on your induction law.
Thank you. Yeah. Did anybody have any questions for Mr. Moore? How long does that bond last? I mean, once you,
It's a 20-year bond.
okay.
So next July, the bond rate is actually expected to go down. So we're just asking voters to continue what they're currently paying.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it's a no increase.
Okay.
That's a 20-year.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time?
Hi, I'm Stacy Vanos, 26161 Dayton Road. I guess first of all, I'm surprised and a little disappointed that we won't be discussing the park tonight, because I was at a special meeting last week and I understood there was a time crunch to get this going this year, so I don't know if this is going to be able to happen without having a discussion tonight, so. On that, what I was going to say is that I was disappointed to not see at least one other proposal to get that work done. I understand that it's not the law, you don't have to put it out for bid, but a lot of times, I used to work for a contractor, and a lot of times people would call and just say, can you give us a ballpark on this, just so we get something to compare to. There's usually always a comparative bid, and it doesn't take that much time, it's not that hard to do. Even the prior bid you had gotten, maybe there was parts in there you could compare the current work to, something to show us it's in the ballpark. And I trust you guys, I trust the guy that you're thinking of having to do the work, but I'm just thinking, in the interest of full disclosure, it's something for us to look at, just like with the office desk that's on the agenda tonight to be purchased. I mean, how hard is it to get one more price, just so we know? And I understand you probably have a good relationship with Carl, but that's who I used to deal with too when I worked, so. Again, it's not anything about lack of trust or anything, it's just a matter of transparency. I think I just have a healthy distrust of government in general, not anybody personally, because when I meet people in person, I usually really like them, so. Just, I guess, that is all at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
At the house with 7191 Memphis Ridge. I had a long list for tonight on the park, but the one thing on the bottom that I had is you still need to inform the residents on how they can get information. So you sent the letter out to everybody in the township. So one gal that I talked to today, she got that letter. She did what it said, and I said, so now are you getting emails? No, I've never gotten an email. So that's one. The second one is my neighbor, who actually came in here and gave his email address. Still did not get anything email-wise. And then I called last night and asked again, and I had already also put his address in again, and he's still not getting any emails.
It's on constant contact you're talking. Have you sent anything out on constant contact? I mean, don't, some months where we don't.
Well, she does it when they have the board packet. So, you know, I mean, this is more than one person
Sure.
that this has been happening to, and
Is it going to their spam or something? Like is something blocking it from their side?
Could it be in their trash, not in their trash, but in their,
Sam,
I don't know if the folders labeled actual spam, but there's different folders it can slip into. I know personally that happens to me a lot. I now check all my folders.
I would have them call the office, talk to Kathy Pace, because she's the one that actually enters everybody's email, and she's the one that does the constant contact, and she can actually look to see
if they're on or not.
or double check the email. Maybe one little thing's wrong about it, but if they call and talk to Kathy, she works, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday is the days that we're open from 9 to 5. She does go to lunch in the afternoon, generally from 12 to 1. Sometimes it's, you know, varies.
Okay. Just seems to be a routine
Right.
thing that
But
here,
we
because
gotta
you don't
figure
have
that
very
out.
many people that have signed up. Well, if this, you know, with Michelle, if she, you know, went ahead and did all this and never received
Seeing none, we will move on.
Whoops, we have-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good evening. Sorry, I was late getting up here. My name is Kevin Lino. I live at 3720 Mesco Road. And I have a few things that I'd like to address with you guys, but I want you to know, as Stacy and both Pat reiterated, is that, and by the way, a healthy distrust of government is something that's been a custom in our country since the beginning of the nation. So it's what we're supposed to do, is to check and balance. And so that's not a bad thing, Stacy. I feel blessed to have people who are willing to sit on the board, and it's a great step for us. And it's something we couldn't run a country without people who are willing to step up. So I thank you for that. I congratulate you guys on that. I don't want you to take these things personally. There are no names attached here. There is just concern for some, in my last couple months of attending meetings, of procedure more than anything else. And so the word that really pulls us all together is clarity. And one of the issues that comes up with clarity is the consistency of programming and procedure that is being presented by the board. And my comments on that are that we must be open to common discourse on this issue to favor the cause of taxpaying constituents who desire to engage public discourse in a common, simple carrying out of local governance in a way that is supportive to the boards. We'd love to see all these seats filled out here. That's the way it should be. And I think it could be that. I've seen, just in my couple months coming here, I've seen the growth of people attending. And I hope that the people who are here would share that with people, that there are important things going on here that we all need to be aware of. Because they don't attend, we have to worry about emails and all that stuff. I'd love to see everyone here, or at least a good representation from each road or each neighborhood would be great. And that way they can carry out the informing people on their own. The second issue I have is adherence to public information procedural guidelines, allowing public access to all meetings and voting results, all comments and objections. And the reason I brought this up is because we were noticing the minutes from the last special meeting of the rep board, which was last week, that Mr. Yake made some comments that he had some reservations about the voting process for that project. And I don't believe that those showed up in the minutes. And so I really believe that is the type of thing that could get people to wonder, why weren't his comments made public and are in public record? And so that's something that you might want to address as a board together about addressing those things and maybe amending those minutes and including those his comments from August 6th. Third thing is a solid definitive plan for the park. It seems it changes daily. It seems to change from meeting to meeting, which to me, I know everyone's been participating in it, but it's the perception that I got was that, well, there should be more planning and more, I guess, more adherence to a procedure for making these things happen. And so my concern for you as a board is that people will may perceive this as a reason either not to come if they don't see anything happening and there is things happening, I understand that, but it just seems that the plan morphs every time we have a meeting. And it's discouraging for people who are in favor of it, and it's concerning for those of us who would like to see the board prioritize necessity over luxury. Taxpayers are burdened a lot in this country, in this township, in this state, and I really truly believe that they would have a lot more faith in prudent handling of taxpayer dollars and prioritizing necessity over luxury.
That's 4.5 minutes already, just so you know.
Okay, well, I can save the rest of these for either this or the next meeting, so that everyone who needs to hear it can hear it. So, I just to, it should be heartening for you guys to hear people to be saying that they care about these things. We're not pointing fingers, we just want this, for you guys to be the most efficient that you can be for the taxpayers. So, I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Yep. Anyone else? Moving on, approval of minutes. Is anyone have any other questions on any of those minutes that are there? There's quite a few. June 11th, the regular meeting, the June 12th, the 18th, and the 26th, 21st of July were all special meetings. Any questions? If seeing none, I need a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
It's not great for me to support my own minutes.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on, consent agenda. Does anyone want to pull any of those off? Or does somebody want to make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
I can make that motion.
Do I have a second?
And I'll support that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on to the financial report. That's you, Kathy.
That's me. I gave you guys 2 months' worth. The one is within the month we were off. It shows with the amendments. We were able to cover everything that we had spent without pulling money out of our general fund or out of our fund balance. We managed to do that for a long time, years, 25, 30 years, as long as I've been here. So we were not upside down. Everything was free. And I think we'll get it even nailed down just a little bit. Well, we had like 2,500 laps. So if we get it nailed down any tighter, we're going to be, I think that's pretty good, let's put it that way. Does anybody have any issues with anything? Of the end of the fiscal year and then the beginning of July. As you can see, July's is a little different going forward. There's more meat to it. There's the chart of accounts are on there. Better explanations, the breakdown of the departments are different, and we have a new way of doing it. Cindy programmed it, so it's a lot easier to follow and understand. I think it is anyway.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It's
Kathy.
looking a lot better.
Yeah.
I always go with whatever the supervisor gives me.
She gave me the same form as you.
And that's her job, right? We just try to.
So any questions? So do I have a motion to accept and pay the bills for June and July?
I still make that motion.
Do I have support?
I can support that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Moving on to the treasurer's report.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little, I meant to put something in here and I didn't, but that's okay. So anyhow, the general fund, I'm gonna read July's. I put June and July's in here, but I'm gonna read July. So the general fund is $925,359.65. The tax disbursement account is $217,286.20. The recreational fund is $462,139.87. The investment accounts are $1,257,687.03. And the PDR accounts is $25,962.61. And other accounts is $5,686.15, with a grand total of $2,894,131.51. I just want to say, when I say other accounts, I just want to say we have a small account for the senior citizens, which is only $164, and the other account is payroll. So we just transfer money out of the general to payroll. So that's what the other accounts are, just that. I've always wondered that when they say other accounts is sitting out there. So I just wanted to say that. And also, this is what I didn't really, forgot to put this in here, but I did make a new CD from PNC. And PNC, they like it in the minutes, giving me the approval to put the money out of the money and market account, which I would have that for last month. So the money and market account, this would be for the Parks and Recs. And we got that big high amount coming in. The money market account for Parks and Recs had $214,760.35. So I took most of that money out and I made it into a CD, and they like it showing in the minutes, approving that I could do this with myself, my deputy, Tom Grigna, Clerk LaFontaine, and Deputy Laura Stewart's name added to that account. It was roughly 200 and let's say 10,000, I kind of think it was. I'm thinking right around the 4%. Don't quote me, but it was around that. So I took it out of the money market and invested in a longer term.
Does it have to be in the minutes?
It has to be in the minutes because
Tonight?
today,
Okay.
yes, because I took it out of the money market and put it into a CD. If it wasn't a CD and I just kept it in a CD with a different term, she said no. But since it come out of the money market into a CD, it stayed in the same bank. She says it has to be in the minutes.
So who wants to make the motion, or how do we want to word it?
Formulate the motion. To formulate the motion?
Yeah.
I will make the motion to have to approve Chris Brickle to move the money from PNC's money market account and reinvest it into a CD, earning an interest rate of...
I can run and get it if you would excuse me real quick.
It probably does.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Better have that.
That's a PNCB.
Also, while we're waiting, guys, I should also let you know, well, Chris would probably even let you know, that PDR account, we are the account holders for PDR. That's everybody's, the 5 northern communities' money in PDR. So we don't have to pay dues by being the treasurer of that account.
Or the fiduciary
Yes,
for
of it.
the Farmland Preservation Committee, which consists of the 5 townships. And that money is held by us, but it's owned by all the townships, northern townships.
It'll fluctuate every now and then, but it's just money coming in from the other townships or people applying
How
for
much is in that account?
$25,962.
Okay, it was 212,000. It was for a 4-month CD at the interest rate of 4.03 with the annual rate of 4.10.
And I'll make that motion.
Sorry, as I was reading this, I'm like, oh, I forgot to grab that.
Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any questions on the motion, or what we're doing? All those in favor say aye. Motion carried. The only question I have, being that June is the end of our fiscal year, should we have her read those figures, or will they show up in the minutes? Okay, so that we're covered in that respect, okay. Any other questions for Chris on the treasurer's report? Seeing none, I need a motion then to accept and file the treasurer's report as received.
So make that motion.
I'll support it.
All those in favor say aye. Motion carried. Moving on to farmland preservation. Kind of stepping back to what Kathy just said about us being a fiduciary. Cindy's not here tonight, but we need to let her know that the county wants that request for their annual $5,000 that they give us. She needs to request that money. And then, like they said, you can just use the letter they've used in the past and change the dates. But then they will send us that money to be put into that fund.
Are they going with our fiscal year then?
Yeah,
Or is
they do the
it,
same
so it'd
thing.
be 20,
Yeah,
25, 26?
yeah.
Okay.
Then the other information, Jeff Schroeder from the Planning and Economic Development is working on the baseline report for Ken Coleman's property. Will help finalize the grant. Basically what that baseline report is, it tells what the land is when it goes into the program, what condition it is, what's on the property, and all that soil types, and all that. It's quite a detailed report. And then Kathy is also working on the conservation easement, which would be the agreement between the landowner, the township, and the state on the easement. And it's basically like a template that they have. It's not, it's quite involved, but it's not a document that we have to do a real lot of work on, because the state kind of controls what can be in there. But hopefully this can be wrapped up, by this fall sometime, I would think. Other than that, that's all I have. Any questions on the preservation part? Okay, moving on to building report. Jeff, do we have anything?
Nothing to report tonight.
Okay. Anything for Jeff, any guys? No, seeing none, we're moving on. Assessor's report for June and July. Any questions on that? Library report. Elaine is not here tonight, but she did submit a written report and also a written report for cable report. I don't know if there's any questions or any comments on that. We don't need to do a motion to accept these. No, we just go over. Recreational advisory report, that's been always taken care of by Cindy. Nothing on that. There's no unfinished business. Moving on to new business. Our IRS millage rate for this year for mileage. Kathy, do you have the?
She didn't let me know what the new rate is that she's
I
giving.
think it.
Well, it was .70.
Yeah.
It was .62 and now it's .70.
70.
Yeah, it's up to 70 cents. Yeah. So it's like we need to approve.
We need to adopt it.
Yeah, we need to adopt it.
Yeah.
And basically, we really don't have a say in what the IRS is telling us.
Is that how it is? Like, we have to-
I don't think we can lower it, can we?
No,
No.
no, they send it to us and we really just adjust and approve
Yeah.
and move on.
Yeah, it was 62.
It hasn't
now it's
moved for
70.
a long time.
Yeah. Okay, motion in order to do 70 cents per mile for reimbursement, rate for mileage driven for township business.
So make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll support it.
All those in favor say aye. Moving on to the Smart Municipality and Community Credits. Jeff, do you know what you've got on your hands?
Yes, absolutely. So annually, SMART sends out a contract that's really a pass-through of money for the operation of our small buses that Those funds are a small portion of the 1 mil that all Macomb County taxpayers pay to SMART. So basically, SMART takes that mil, they return a small portion to local communities that can only be used for the provision of public transit. So, we provide that service through the EMS. That service primarily serves seniors, disabled, gets a lot of people with things like dialysis, oncology, physical therapy kind of appointments. You can get a number of folks to work who might be fully capable of working, but for various reasons are unable to drive a car. So that's kind of what in general gets used for. Last year we provided 1,425 rides here in Richmond Township. So that's a good number given our given our population for sure. The annual pass through this year is the way the contract works. They call them community credits. But assume credits mean dollars. Okay, for the purpose of you folks and the public that's listening. So a credit is just $1 for each credit. So there are $3,315 in what they call community credits, and $10,616 in municipal credits, for a total of $13,931 that would pass through to Richmond Lennox EMS if this contract is approved by the board. We've done this since 1999, so it's been pretty much a standard thing that we do over here at this time. So, if you may recall, I was here just about 4 months ago with this very topic. The reason it turned around so fast this time is last year, Smart Bus, that's the big bus company that oversees all this, was delayed about 8 months in getting the contracts out to us. So basically, we were operating last year outside of an agreement with them. This contract is for beginning July 1st through next June 30th. So hopefully they'll get us back on a regular annual routine, and you won't see me here every 4 months asking about this issue. Unless the board has any questions, I would request that you approve the transfer of $13,931 from SMART to Richmond Lennox EMS, and approve the supervisor to execute the contract.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support it.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on to the desk for the treasurer's office. Chris, do you want to take this?
I can. So we have one desk in the treasurer's office, and now that taxes are in, Tom generally does the taxes. So if I'm sitting at the desk and he's in, I have to get up, and I actually just try not to come in. I feel like he comes in like in the morning, and it's just hard working under one computer, one desk. When I first got in, Cindy had asked me, she's putting together the budget, is there anything that I need? Well, at that time, I didn't know what I needed. And so now that we're working, it's just hard. We need an extra desk. So I had told Tom, this is what we're going to do, and another computer would be wonderful too. And Tom said, I will use my laptop. And I said, okay, so we're saving money on the laptop. And then when he has a laptop, because when he goes on vacation or works at home, and I work at home, I have a laptop, I always get it out. So he said, I will take my laptop. And I'm thinking, okay, that would be good, because then when he goes on vacation, we have a check reader, we have a scanner, and all this stuff that I can just plug in my laptop on his desk instead of keep moving stuff around, and it'll work out a lot better. We just need a desk, and he actually was the one that called Kurt Albert. He met them here, figured out where we're going to put it in the office that it would work, and that's how that came about.
Can I add something to that? I just want everybody to know that since way back when Diane Jasek was the treasurer, they were husband and wife teams for quite a few years past that. So there was never the need for a second desk. But when you have a deputy that's not related to you, and they have work to do, and the treasurer has work to do, they have to do it within the confines of of the office, where husband and wife teams would just say, you go to the office, take care of that. So this is the reason for the desk. And then also to follow up with Stacy's question, I needed a filing cabinet. We got quotes from 5 different people, same with the desk. So we go with the basement bottom price of things. And curves, you can't get close to them. I mean, you can't beat that. They're like number 1 lately, so we always check the prices, but they are in need of that desk.
In the past, treasurer and deputy treasurer, the treasurer worked full-time somewhere else, so they were never in the office that this, happened to, versus I don't work somewhere else, so.
So what is the total cost? What are we looking for? What was it?
1,100, 187, and 14.
Okay. So do I have a motion to direct the treasurer to purchase it?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
And I think we have to motion and support, bring it before the board and the audience, anything over $500. And that was the reason for this as well.
Yeah. Moving on for items for next agenda. Guess we can, the park discussion will probably be there then. Can't think of anything else right now.
No, we could always add it that night, don't we?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't think of anything either,
No.
so that's gonna be a big thing now.
Oh, how about,
Your tax bills.
the cleanup? That's coming up.
Oh, yeah, October, I think first Saturday in October, well, that should be on there too.
Yeah.
Finalize that. Yeah. Okay, call to the board. Start, Charlie, any comments you want to make?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. Kathy?
I just have one question, how's the taxes going, Chris? Are they rolling in or?
They're rolling in. Yeah. Tom's doing a great job.
Good.
Chris, you have anything? Okay. I don't have nothing either. So back to general public comment. You can comment again if you have more comments if you want to make.
I'll say thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think I'll wait till next meeting. I think I'll wait till next meeting.
Okay, okay. Anybody else for public comment? Okay, so seeing none, I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make